right, so since it's been an additional week in between, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick breakdown of the last session, make sure everybody is on the same starting, and then we shall jump right in. So, last time, the party had split up into various groups. The brothers, Carlos and Virgil, heading to the more refined part of the city to chase down information and leads on the legal side of things. Settling on a place known as the Arbiter's Vice, you went and spoke to Judge Ruben Marquez, the judge who handled the paperwork and the entire case that you presented, Carlos, that led to Octavia being set free. And as you pressed the judge for information, it was alluded to that there was other business going on with the situation, with the judge urging you to kind of drop your line of inquiry. Trying to keep things on a lower, just keep things low and discreet, of no worry. Afterwards, on your way out, particularly when Virgil may have, at least in your opinion, Carlos, kind of pushed the line on the questioning just a bit too far, you gained the attention of a well-known butcher. Spoke to him directly by the name of, well-known butcher by the name of Michael. And afterwards, as you've got him out of the Arbiter's Vice, you spoke to him directly, informing him of the recent activities and gained some information about the Lancer, Vicente Santolaria. It seemed he was the Lancer that did the investigation, the investigative duties in getting Octavia arrested. And so it kind of led you to this idea that situation with Carlos may not be entirely connected, but rather punishment for his acts in helping set her free. After a bit more talking, you said your goodbyes, Virgil specifically telling Michael he should look into your own district, right, for a chance at getting some work, as he'd been taken off rotation, something very unusual for a butcher of his caliber. On the other side of town, after separating from Ezra, Azazel and Desiree, the two of you would search out a contact of Azazel's. Ezra had split off to find any information to find from her old contacts in this part of town, and had to go it alone. After some walking and a lot of side-eyeing from the locals in the area, you'd run into your connect by the name of Renzo. He'd invite the two of you inside and reveal maybe a bit of information that Azazel would have preferred kept secret regarding stolen merchandise. But in any case, you discussed the recent activities as well, what had been going on with you, and how you arrived in your current predicament. Renzo, totally mind blown at the dealings you've had, urged you to keep a low profile, especially if you were caught up in something to do with Octavia, informing you that as far as the way business worked in the city, you were technically under the thumb of Octavia, considering your activity. After the conversation and telling you to go lay low and that he'd search you out with any information he could get for you, you left the home much more discreetly than you had arrived. As the two of you headed back to the shop, despite your discretion and attempt at sneaking, it became apparent that you were being followed. Turning a corner and setting a trap, you'd catch a would-be tail as they tried to track you down. Taking their weapon from them, you made sure they didn't know anything and knocked them unconscious, with Desiree taking the weapon for good, for safekeeping. And so, we'd end our session with the four of you arriving back at the shop. Desiree opening it up to look as if business was continuing as normal, and the four of you essentially awaiting for the arrival of Ezra. And so, that is where we'll begin, and get some music going, and we shall jump right in. So, Ezra, moments after separating from Azazel and Desiree, you, probably in a bid to kind of, you knew the type of people you were going to be interacting with, and maybe it was best that you go it alone, just in case. So, yes. As you made your way into the poor kind of area of the city, finally kind of having gotten some space, yourself kind of solo for the first time, since separating from your wife as she fled the city. now alone, where do you think Ezra would begin the kind of investigative or reaching out insofar as trying to gain some information about recent events?
So, splitting up from the other two was actually only partially due to her being able to work better alone, but also because she was going to check up on her wife first things first.
Fair enough. Okay. So, you would make your way out of the city?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, instead, removing yourself from the city entirely, right?
Yeah.
Moving away from the poorer side of town. You made it to the front gate, exiting out. Your wife not too far. The family doesn't, the family isn't extremely rural,
Mm-hmm.
within, a couple of hours, maybe like an hour of decent travel, you'd probably arrive at the small kind of village that's just on the outskirts, kind of like a farming village that just kind of funnels, resources up to the main city of Valdiran. So as you arrive, having taken that time, things are as they typically are every time you've come out here, right? Number of just kind of as you pass through the small village, it looks like time hasn't really moved here, so to speak, right? Things are very slow to progress in a small kind of village of this size. So as you kind of look around, you feel at ease, I should say, right? The pressures and the, it seems as though the pressures and the danger of the large city just don't really hold a sway here, as they have in recent times, and so it doesn't take long for you to find the familial home of the. Let me see. What's the last name again? Sorry.
They don't really have a last name.
No. Okay.
Actually, they're just like my wife's. Like, yeah, and it's just their home, I guess.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So the I guess the Undine's family, right?
Yeah.
So you should make your way up. Call him Ward. As you make your way up to the front door of the home, I'll say that you notice on arrival that there is a relatively well built kind of carriage waiting out near the front of the family home, which is out of place.
Yes. As there's a pulse sort of starts going a little faster as but like she's keeping a calm demeanor as she just like ignores the carriage for now and just enters the home as she usually would, knocking on the door, waiting to be answered.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you knock on the door. You don't go right inside, you kind of wait for...
No, probably I knock and then go right inside.
Oh, okay, you knock and go right inside. Perfect. Yeah, so you knock and then make your way in. Seated at the family table is your lovely wife. Kind of looks up expectantly, right, like at you. A bit of like excitement, right? Happiness to see you. She looks particularly well. Better than recent days. So as you make your way in, you'll notice though, sitting at the table is another familiar figure. Although only one. It is one of the twins. And he is sitting at the table with his sister.
Can I tell which one of them it is? Is it Martin or Milo?
I would say let's flip a coin, you know. No. We'll say it's Martin. Okay. Although at first glance maybe you're not entirely sure, but he is kind of seated back. He wears pretty fine clothing, certainly out of place in the old family home, right? He is kind of leaned back in his chair, and he seems to be. It seems like you have walked in, kind of. What is it? Interrupting a conversation between brother and sister. Martin doesn't seem to kind of react, just kind of seems to sit there and allow, Undine to kind of just, stand up and cross the room, coming up to you quickly and kind of like putting her arms around you.
Yeah, I give her a quick kiss and like greet her, stroking her hair, like looking over her, checking whether she's okay or not, whether she looks healthy.
Yeah, she looks particularly healthy. She kind of immediately kind of goes to asking you, like, so how are things then? Is business settled? Is it safe to return? I mean,
There's still an investigation going into the fire. I'm currently working together with the Iron Roads. I think it would be best for now for you to stay here. And then it returns to Martin. It's good seeing you, Martin. You're looking particularly well.
kind of tilt his head down and kind of like, the motion of his hand kind of just show that he acknowledges your presence, right? Like kind of like an unspoken hello. But he keeps quiet, right? Just kind of waiting to see what's going on. Undine, though, will kind of, at the mention of working with the iron rods in particular, kind of like a bit of a puzzled look kind of crosses her face. Is it I assume it's not a return to station or anything like that. Is Jasper helping out with all of this?
Ezra, like, freezes for a moment. Then, like, shakes her head and says, he is involved. Yes.
Oh, that's good to hear. I mean, I know things ended badly between, the two of you, but it's, a family friend like that, an old friend like that being involved, sets my concerns at ease. Come on in. That's, I'm sure there is something to drink, and I'm sure you're a bit hungry. There's surely something to. She'll kind of like, half-heartedly kind of pull you into the home.
No need, love. I just came to check in on you. I won't be long.
Oh, well. Kind of disappointed, right? Okay, well, I should show you this. Martin brought it. It's really helped how I've been feeling lately. And she'll kind of turn and cross the room over to the table, and there's a small vial sitting that is halfway empty. She'll kind of lift it up. Martin found some, I guess, medicine that really helps take a lot of the pressure off of the sickness. He even told me that if I take enough, all will return to normal.
That's great. Like, her eyes flicker over to Martin. And then she says, after all, would you mind heating something up for me? Something to eat?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Come sit down. And she'll kind of just, and then as you kind of make your way in, she'll kind of leave the area, because kitchen's a little bit separate.
Yeah, and then I sit down next to Martin. And like, my demeanor sort of drops a little. And I look him right in the eye.
Kind of looks back.
Where did you get that from?
Well, I've got a connection within the city. A particularly skilled alchemist, sorcerer of sorts. I told him, you know, the affliction that my sister had been dealing with, and he assured me that such a tonic would remove ailment. It seems to be working so far. Don't worry, it's not addictive, anything like that.
I wouldn't think so.
Mm.
I know you love your sister.
He kind of smirks and looks at you. So, busy in the city.
Yes, indeed.
Lots going on. The rain is a lot of.
And this arson in the building we were living in, it's apparently something a little bigger than I anticipated, and I got flung into something I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Kind of looks away. Even without having to make a roll here or a check, he knows what you're talking about, right? And he knows it in what's the way to say it? Like, he knows it in an intimate way, right? And he's not trying to kind of hide that aspect of the conversation, right? He's not like trying to deceive you. If anything, it's almost like he wants you to know that he knows, very well.
Okay. So then Ezra sort of leans in and like really pierces him. What does she want in return for those vials to keep coming?
Straight to business. You know, Ezra, I love my sister. I would never want to see her hurt. And I guess by proxy, that means I suppose I would never want to see you hurt either. Kind of thinks for a moment. And then looks back at you. Maybe it would be in your best interest to remain here with her. Octavia's not going to stop. She's very motivated, it would seem, and I think, as far as she knows now, you are taken care of. I've seen to it that she believes that you are taken care of. So.
Ezra sort of thinks for a moment. If I were to just drop out now, it would raise suspicion with the Iron Rods. They know of my connection to you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be safe either.
Yeah, but those others, the idiot lawyer, the forever Iron Rod, and those other two, shopkeeper, they'll be taken care of shortly. All connection to what's happening will be erased, and, any evidence will be. And for a moment, he kind of opens up his palm, and a small kind of fire, right, ignites before he kind of snuffs it out. All evidence will be turned to ash. Not to be found, not to be bothered. I know that you feel some way responsible. Octavia being free and all of that, and if I'm being honest with you, I much preferred her locked away, but loopholes are found, deals are made, so she is free.
Yes. I don't think I can pull out right now, Martin. I'm going to stay with them and see that they don't throw up more ground than necessary. And if you find the need to erase them, then so be it. I won't be in your way.
Kind of sighs. He closes his eyes and kind of looks up at the ceiling, like he's thinking. Can I be dissuaded from your current path? And I've done everything I can. So.
And I'll do everything I can to keep Undine safe.
Yeah. She's safe now. So.
Yeah.
It's good to see you again, Ezra. I hope that recent activities in the city are... I hope you see what's best and make the smart decision. Because while Undine has family, has me and my brother and the rest of us, you hold a special place in her eye. So, whatever decision you make, just keep that in mind. And he'll kind of push the chair back, stand up, essentially kind of brushing himself off, and he'll reach a hand out to shake your hand.
I will keep that in mind, Ezra says as she takes his hand.
You'll hold it and you'll feel the warmth, right, of the fire kind of there for a moment. Kind of
She tries not to flinch.
He kind of turns and starts to walk out, and as he kind of does, Undine kind of like walks in and she's like, Martin, leaving already? And Martin kind of, yes, dear sister, I must return. Business is... well, with the rains and all, business is quite frantic, so I cannot sit about. I just wanted to ensure that you had the medicine. Let me know. I'll be back in a couple of days. I'll bring some more. Just tell me how it, how well it works. I've got a lot of trust in the alchemist that has put that together for me, so I feel better. Spend some time with your Ezra, and I shall see you in a few days. She's kind of Undine's a little kind of taken aback by this, but kind of understands the situation. Just kind of like will nod and thank him for the vial, and let him know, for sure, like in the next few days how it's going for her. And so with that, Martin will just kind of reach the front door and kind of, give a quick scan back, kind of call out to Undine, like, tell our parents, unfortunately missed them, but I will see them next time. Just kind of course. And Martin will make his exit, and Undine is there kind of with a tea, right? Just kind of, tea in a small bowl of food, and kind of just bring it forward and set it down in front of you.
Yeah, I'll gladly sit down and dig in and just have some small talk. how Martin is looking mighty fine in his new outfit and apparently doing well, and
Very successful.
wondering how Milo's doing.
It's been a while since we've seen Milo. He doesn't really like to leave the city. But Martin says he's doing well. Just kind of, gives information like that. And we'll kind of comment along, Martin says he's doing well with the business. And doesn't seem to know any specific details about the business that Martin seems to be wrapped up in. But, I mean, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so the time you spend with your wife, right, having the food, partaking, it's very nice, comforting, very much an opposite in the way recent days have kind of felt, right? There's a calm here that you've just kind of been ripped away from you ever since the news of Octavia being released. But in time, right, for a bit, you do have to say your goodbyes and be very very down as you have to make your leave, but kind of understands that everything is going on and it's fine.
Yeah, Ezra just tries to savor the stay with Undine as much as she can, as little time as she's going to spend there. And is going to say goodbye and promise to come within the next few days and as soon as everything's settled.
Okay, absolutely. So, all right. So you finish up activities, right? Spending time with your wife, and then having to kind of make your exit back to the city. I'll say, maybe for narrative reasons, time tends to go by faster than you expect. Maybe you get kind of lost in the moment of, having this opportunity to kind of, spend it with your wife in a very calm state, right? So maybe you just kind of, lose track of time, and you realize as you are making your exit, heading back to the city, that by the time you get back, it's probably going to be dark, and maybe not the smartest decisions to go solo into the rougher part of town. Now that you know, at least, that there's, in a way you've kind of been protected from everything, but to be seen out in the open might, put some risk to that.
I would like to still, for like information gathering, usually you would use like diplomacy and like if you would usually use it, but which one was it? One of my new feats allows me to make a recall information check using society instead.
Okay.
So if you would allow, I would like to sort of use that to like sort of think about like what in like recent like maybe even weeks or days leading up to Octavia's release has changed, and that like sort of could make me or give me clues to how sort of what she's planning, what like her new deal is.
What are goals maybe?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Then I'm going to do a roll. Do I get my on the case bonus?
For sure.
Okay.
So all connected here. The chasing a lead or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a +9.
Do have a hero point just in case,
I do.
Yeah, we start every game with a single hero
Okay,
point.
I'm going to actually use that one.
Okay, perfect.
Jesus Christ.
No way.
No way.
No way.
That's not... Okay.
That is rough.
That happened.
Okay. All right. So you're thinking along the road, right? You are as you make your return to Valdiris, right? You've got this this kind of playing out in your head, right? What could be Octavia's goals? Like what is driving her to do some of the things that she has done? And this is pretty difficult because so far it would seem, at least to the knowledge that you have now, right, regarding Carlos and the, you know, the fake death or the kind of death thing, and taking him, you know, putting him in, locking him up, dealing with all of that, having that be, sorry, the fake murder is what I should say. Right, Carlos kind of profounding like his innocence in this regard, and being connected as the lawyer that had, you know, hands on the case and everything. A lot of things aren't necessarily lining up, because the action towards you, assumption would be that it's an attempt to take your life, but at the same time, if Octavia wanted you murdered, it's likely that, you know, they would just burst right in, right? They would just come right in, right? And they would have just laid waste. No making a show of it, right? Although it does help, right? Maybe you get the assumption that Martin kind of handled the whole burning as a way to give you a chance to leave, but also make it look like everything was successful. You know Octavia is smarter than just revenge, right? It's not just taking revenge, but larger ambitions are just kind of completely unknown at this moment, just through difficulty of understanding the scope, right? She's had a lot of time in prison, so it could be any number of schemes cooked up. So there's still just some information that's missing to kind of put together a full picture. But for now, the only thing you really have to go on is this idea of revenge, and, you know, but more to be known. Maybe the others will have a lead to follow.
All right.
So you return to the city, right? Arriving, making your way back, just as you kind of enter in the city gates, the idea is probably just to head back to Desity's, see what the others may have come across. So with that, we get back to Desity's shop. Azazel, Desity, the two of you have arrived and opened up, you know, ensuring, basically making it look like the shop was open and business has returned as normal. Before, you know, not too long after that, Virgil and Carlos would have also returned, right? And as they did as you kind of waited for the arrival of Ezra, right? You shared what information that you had learned to each other, at the very least, so that all four of you were kind of informed of what happened, you know, with each other's search. And so, as you kind of sit around waiting, Ezra seems to be kind of a no-show for some time, you know, hoping that she'd be back faster, you know, so that you could kind of really get a lead, or, you know, a direction going on the case. You all just kind of sit around. Desiree, seems like with the rains, no customers seem to be, making their way in. So, say a couple of hours pass as you are sitting around, just kind of waiting, hoping, and as you are, all 4 of you roll me perception checks.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Do I get advantage if I'm just sitting here drinking coffee the entire time and I'm forced?
You're completely wired up. Okay.
I think I'm nervously just drinking coffee, just like shit.
Yeah.
Do I get a plus?
It'd be so funny if you get the lowest roll.
Yeah, we'll give you.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll give you a +3 to make it so that everybody has 24.
Let's go.
Amazing.
What the fuck, Carlos?
So
I just saw your name.
yeah, Colin Stones Ortega. That's his new
Fuck.
nickname because he keistered the fucking thing.
It's his prison name.
His prison wallet. Yeah.
The prison pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
God.
He doesn't get heckled going between the cells. He gets admiring glances.
fair enough.
Ew.
Jesus Christ. So I'll say then the bell that rings as somebody enters the shop catches the 4 of you.
It's actually Carlos's ass.
Yeah. It catches you, the 4 of you off guard, right? You're not expecting. It's been hours. Nobody's come in, but a figure walks right in, and the bell kind of announcing their arrival. And they are tall. They're wearing a long, black cloak that kind of accentuates their kind of long-limbed body. As who else but Vicente Centolaria, the Lancer, makes his entrance into the shop. As he kind of steps in, he will stand there, the long black hair, right, the clean-shaven, kind of gaunt-looking expression on the face. The cheeks are sunken in just a bit. You can see the cheekbones, very prominent. And he steps in, and he just kind of looks around before reaching back and locking the door behind him. As he kind of sets the lock in place, Sniper.
Carlos will just give him, a cheeky grin, point at him, goes, "Hey up, Chuck. How's it hanging?"
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. It seems like as he turns his back to you and locks the door behind him, he doesn't, respond to the questioning. Instead, he'll just kind of turn back and look at the 4 of you and take a few steps in and slowly start to remove the cloak. Right, one arm at a time. Is anybody doing anything? Yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
Carlos will shrug his shoulders and go, "Oh, if that's how it is," and he'll just start unbuttoning his shirt.
If I may, can I cast Mage Hand to unlock the door?
Oh,
Oh, you attempt to do that? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Virgil, what'd you say?
I was just telling Carlos off for starting to be a twat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
disturbing.
All right. So you cast Mage Hand, looking to unlock the door behind. Fair enough. Single magic weapon, either invisible or ghost-like. Okay. I'm assuming you're gonna go for invisible in this case, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Carlos is looking to distract by knowing him. Okay.
What?
All right.
Virgil.
Oh. Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah, wait, what?
He's looking to distract by annoying Virgil.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So he steps in, and as he's kind of removing the cloak, right? Virgil or Carlos, you're undoing the buttons, right? You're kind of getting ready for a fight of sorts as well.
No, he's trying to seduce him, and I'm stepping in.
Okay. So you kind of step in.
He's just following suit, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just being a pleb.
Before any more clothes come off.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, you step in.
I button my tunic back up.
Yeah. Before this gets a
Before the
little wild. Yeah.
For the iron rod notices.
So you kind of step up, Virgil.
Yes, I'll step up.
The Lancer, Sente. As he kind of finishes removing the cloak, you'll kind of we'll assume that there's a location, like a hangar, right? You'll just kind of set it.
Just throws it on the floor.
Yeah, no, it doesn't throw it on the floor.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Butcher shop.
yeah, he's very.
Shut up.
Yeah,
There is. I would imagine there is like a bit of like a coat hanger.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of thing.
absolutely, and that's what he's gonna kind of lay it on, right? He's
Yeah.
doing this very. It doesn't look like he's in a rush to do this, right? He's kind of taking it step by step. And he kind of sets it. Virgil, you kind of step up, and Sente kind of look at you. Don't worry, I won't kill him. I know he is your brother. He just.
I might.
Kill what? Who's what? Killing what?
I said I'm not gonna
For what?
kill him. But he must know the predicament that he has put us all into. So he kind of sets the cloak and will stand there, kind of expecting Virgil to step out of the way. Although, what does Virgil do?
I just look back over my shoulder at Carlos. Keep your damn clothes on, and I'll step out of the way.
Okay. So, nobody else. Is anybody gonna look to get in the way as the Lancer looks to close the distance between him
Oh, no.
and Carlos?
I'm on the other side of the room just watching him carefully.
Yeah, Carlos beams a smile at both. Perfect.
I would think Desiree is like slams her hand on the counter that she's standing behind and goes, "No, hold on. No fighting in my store. No fighting here."
Go ahead, Carlos.
Carlos is going to stop unbuttoning his shirt, just sort of like loosen his shoulders, you know, grab his crotch, adjust himself, and step forward in a swaggering manner.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah, just trying to irritate the guy.
please don't fight in my store, please.
Please don't fuck in the store.
Hold on. I'll keep my hand on my iron rod just in case.
Fair enough.
Carlos has taken his hand off his iron rod.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. yeah, right. So, you step forward.
He's still smiling.
Yeah, Vicente will kind of look over to you, Desiree. Don't worry. Anything damaged will be, the cost will be covered. Don't worry. And then he will set to essentially kind of settle some business up with Carlo. So this isn't going to be like a genuine fight, but I do think some roles are in order to kind of settle it a bit, right? So I think then this is essentially like, is Carlos looking to use magic to kind of get any sort of advantage here? Or
Carlos, that's all Carlos has got.
okay,
So yeah, Carlos isn't gonna fight clean.
okay,
He's-
fair enough.
Carlos will turn to Desiree and say, "I won't be able to pay for any damage. Sorry about that."
Then I'm not paying you as my lawyer.
Fair enough. Okay. So
Virgil will stand back, cross his arms, just looking amused.
yeah. So it seems Vicente has intentions of this just being kind of just like a smack around, right? He looks like he's just gonna smack the shit out of you, and kind of take out some frustration, and then without intentions of truly killing you. So how are you looking to make some of that magic into your, like, how are you looking to help your situation? Because the intention is to just kind of roll like d20s and add little bonuses on each side, and whoever gets the higher number kind of wins the exchange up to me.
Right, well, I was going to start by casting Bane.
Bane,
on
okay.
him. I'll put it in the chat.
I thought you were going to oil yourself up.
Maybe later. Let's go on. Let's have a bit of foreplay first.
I'll cast grease on myself.
Okay. Yeah, grease on yourself, dude. Okay. Okay. So, fair enough. Perfect. Okay. They will make a will save real quick. So
With one action remaining, if well, I don't know if we're face to face yet, if there's still some distance, but if they literally got up close, it'd attempt to trip him as well.
Trip him as well. Okay. Go ahead and post the trip action as well. Because let's see. All right. He is a lancer, and okay. All right.
So do you want me to do that athletics check?
Yeah. Please do.
I'm gonna be great.
All right. So the way trip works particularly is to make an athletics against the target's reflex. And so I'm gonna have them make the will save. They have to beat a 18. They have a plus 16 to their will. So may not be very difficult, but there's always a chance. So we'll just roll natural.
That one.
So
there we go.
So they have to beat the 18. So they take a -1 status penalty to as long as they are in the area, correct?
Yep.
Okay. But with the nat 1, yeah, so they fail. Let's see. So there's nothing if they critically fail, right? It's just perfect. Okay. But unfortunately, with your athletics check, in attempt to trip him, you step forward and he just basically puts his hand on your chest, and as you go to kind of kick his leg out to bring him to the ground, he essentially just does the same thing to you first. You critically fail. He just sweeps your legs from underneath you and throws you to the ground. So you are prone, Carlos, right?
Right.
The Bane has taken effect, but the athletics check was a critical failure, and so he throws you down to the ground. And he's essentially just gonna step over you, and basically, like, if those are your two actions, his actions are basically just gonna be to like smack the shit out of you, right? Like, just like give you a few hard punches.
Yep.
So I can also do the same here, where we can roll, or because the intention here is not to kill you, right? I guess we can just do it that it's that he's striking at you, right? And I can roll those strikes, and we'll see just how it plays out, because I guess one might be a critical, right? So there's always a chance. Actually, I think unless he rolls a natural 1, he's always going to critically hit you, based on his bonus. So,
Maybe just nat ones the whole time.
yeah. I
Please,
guess let's see.
please.
It's a 2.
So close.
So it doesn't critical, but it he hits you, right? So he just essentially just clobbers you, right? With his first fist just kind of bang on right into the cheek, right? You feel it kind of give way, a bit of blood already kind of pooling in your mouth. The second action would be at a plus 15. And the same, he still hits you, and he just kind of back to back. The second one especially hard as it connects, and I'm not going to take any health away from this, right? Because again, the intention is not to kill you here, more to kind of tell a scene, right? So as he just kind of gives you 2 hard shots to the jaw, kind of back and forth, he'll just kind of let go of you and just push you down and kind of flatten you out against the ground and kind of take a step back. He's not really breathing heavy, but he's well enough. His knuckles are on the hand that struck you twice, already kind of split open a little bit. There's a little bit of on one of the knuckles, kind of a bit of blood pooling, and he'll just kind of step back, proud of his work. Go ahead, Virgil.
Virgil's got the biggest grin on his face, and he steps forward to hold his hand out to Carlos to help him get back up.
I'll also pass on the hand and stand up.
You pass on the hand and stand up. Okay, fair enough. So satisfied that he's at least gotten a few shots in on you, Carlos, and doesn't want to take it further by any means. He just kind of he lets you up, and he just kind of shakes his head in frustration, right? You fucking idiot, right? So much work to get that woman behind bars, and it is undone in an instant by a fool who cannot see beyond his own greed. He's upset. He's kind of pacing around the front room of Desity's shop, right? Thankfully, Desity, nothing has gone, broken here, right? Everything is fine. But he is kind of pacing back and forth, obviously frustrated by recent events and kind of taking them out on Carlos. The mess you have gotten the rest of us involved in, your brother even. The repercussions to your actions have no limit. So, go ahead, Carlos.
Carlos has now stood up and wiping his face with the blood coming away, and he's going to take a few steps over near to the door, and he's going to casually say, "You guys in Valdiran law enforcement, how the hell do you get anything done? How do you find people with the mind-numbing stupidity that you all hold? You're supposed to be at the top of your profession, near enough, and you think that I am responsible for this? Yeah? Ink blots don't set prisoners free, you dumbass. Judges do." And with that, he's going to wipe his bloody hands on the Lancer's cloak and just wipe it across his face a bit.
Such an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's enough to get him to hit you one more time.
That's fine.
Not fucking
Yeah. So, We'll
This
see.
time you will take damage.
Carlos
one
goes
is-
down again.
Yeah, this is a
Crit.
this is a big crit, right? So
Instant kill.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
yeah, I'll say it's
Did you
enough. Yeah.
Does it just clock him in the back of the skull?
No, actually, what the Lancer does is he kind of puts his hand on Carlos's chest as like a measurement, right? Kind of putting him back, and then he just takes a heavy swing, and it's perfectly measured, right? And it lays Carlos out unconscious, right? Just instant.
So
knockout.
Carlos is out of it now.
Yeah,
okay.
you're
The rest
Out
of
on
you
the
can
ground.
role play for a bit. Carlos is just
Yeah.
on the floor.
yeah. Exactly. So yeah, just a
Rolling my
heavy,
eyes.
a heavy, just straight right punch, and it just Carlos goes down like a bag of bricks, right? Just boom, laid out.
Virgil will go down to check his pulse, make sure he's alive still.
He's fine. He's fine.
Desiree is just casual, like very panickingly drawing her warding sigil, just speaking in Aklo, just oh my god.
Relax. Sento kind of speak up now, right? Your brother's right. It doesn't end, or it doesn't, start at. Rather, it doesn't end at an ink blot, but it certainly starts. And up until your brother, nobody was stupid enough to take this case on. But it seems your brother did, and we now are faced with what we are faced with. So I did my best, Virgil, to take care of him. I got him locked up, hoping he'd be safe, and your holding. So while we figured all of this out, but no, your idiot captain had to let him loose, and
Sir, might I speak freely?
yes, he's kind of catching his breath, right?
How did you think he'd be safe by framing him for murder, sir?
It's fine. He's not. There's no murder here. It was a show, in case anybody was watching. The woman he was with is fine. It's all safe. She's okay. But
Can I make an? I don't know, is there an insight in Pathfinder? I can't remember.
It's a perception. Yeah.
Can I
Strangely
make
enough.
a perception check then, please?
Yeah.
I wonder if Virgil's ever going to tell him that it was a show.
Nope.
With the 21, you feel very confident that this Lancer is telling you the truth. Yeah. He's coming across completely honest in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems, that your brother may have been framed for murder, but no murder had actually gone through, and it seemed like, at the very least, this Lancer had your brother's safety in best interest. Making a show of things to keep him out of the way.
So you're behind the framing of Carlos, but you're not behind anything else.
No, I did what I did, and it is known, so there will be no problem to remove this situation. But I simply meant to keep him out of the way while I presume that as soon as Octavia was free, she would be looking to get rid of any loose end. And I consider your brother here probably her greatest loose end, considering the amount of communication he must have had with her brother. And
It's been my greatest loose end for most of my life, so.
mm-hmm. Kind of like regains his composure. He's kind of calming down a bit. Yes, but your idiot captain, despite what I told him, right, that he knew what was to happen. I have no understanding why the situation we are faced with now is what we are faced with. I don't know how you were dragged into it, and these two, you know, kind of pointing over, gesturing towards Desiree and Azazel.
I will say I've probably gone and got a mop by now to clean the blood up.
Yeah, not much,
Desiree's still
but-
freaking out.
but enough. Yeah.
That's why I
Desiree's
got the
still
mop,
freaking
because
out.
you're freaking out.
Yeah. Don't worry. Clean it up. I will say, kind of in the middle of all this, the door is unlocked. So, Ezra, you arrive and start to make your way inside the shop, kind of, you know, just grabbing at the door and heading on in, not, you know, assuming that anything else is the matter. But it seems as you go to open the door, there is a figure laid out on the ground that is stopping you from fully entering in. Yeah, the door just kind of slams into you know, the shoulder of Carlos's unconscious body. It's enough for you to squeeze by, but you have to kind of squeeze by and then step over Carlos's, you know, unconscious body as you make
Yeah,
your
like
way in.
she's like in the process of straightening her cuffs as she enters. Just like sort of bumps into him, just like glances downwards, just ignores it and steps over him nonchalantly.
Fair enough. You make your way inside. I'm glad the Lancer can speak up. I'm glad you've made it back safe. Some hours passed. I thought the worst had come, but well.
She sort of squints at him. And who are you again?
He will introduce himself. Vicente Santalaria. I am a Lancer. Valdiris.
My pleasure.
So, kind of looks around. Best to wake him up then. He'll kind of step forward and lean down and smack Carlos a bit. Kind of back and forth, not hard, but like looking to kind of help him regain consciousness.
Do that. You like it.
Yeah, we'll say, Carlos, you've already kind of regained consciousness, so it comes as a surprise as you're kind of sharply smacked across both sides of your face. Right?
Yeah. I did put a couple of comments. Carlos is gonna tend not to be coming around quite soon, but he would like to make a secret action with his hand.
What's that?
I want it to be a surprise.
Flipping
Hype
it,
it
bird.
then.
If I tell you what, success, I'll play it out as I intended. Failure, I'll play it out, and you'll get a laugh out of it.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, it's a secret action with his hand. What would you like me to roll? And you set the difficulty.
I assume it'd be thievery, right? If you're trying to do
Okay,
something sneakily.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Thievery is not my best one. Let's give that a go.
It's gonna be a secret.
Oh
my god.
Right.
This is the session of natural
Yeah.
ones. Holy
Love it.
fuck.
In Carlos's attempt to do what he intended, he urinates all over his own trousers.
I just grow
And then he'll
as I
come
have
out
a-
and he's just been smacked by the Lancer,
Yeah.
and he'll just murmur, "Harder, daddy," and then open his eyes.
Oh my god. The Lancer kind of
Right.
take a step back, seeing you piss all over yourself, and he'll exclaim, you know, like momentarily, like, let's lose one of the recent slangs. He'll say, "By the veil," right? Like, "By the veil, man." And he'll just kind of take a step back, kind of, you know, putting some space between himself and your piss-covered, you know, body.
And then so Carlos will stand up and he'll just sort of wipe his hands across his piss-stained pants. I'm so sorry. Anyway, even, and he'll go forward to shake his hand.
Nah, he'll just fucking, he'll just like, you know, put his hands in the air and just kind of brush you away, like, get the fuck out of here. So
Shrug his shoulders, turn and wipe his hands on his cloak.
yeah, best that you are aware. he will sorry, I'm getting a message again. Okay, so this person, for whatever reason, there we go. Sorry, somebody messaging somebody from the Discord. Okay.
I'm not upsetting people watching the stream, am I?
No. It's
Always.
the
Well,
person
you know,
who
gotta
recently
go to something.
joined is trying to send messages to people. Weirdly,
Oh, right.
so I just banned them.
Oh. So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If anybody got a message from Daphne, whoever that character was,
Daphne.
just let me know. I already banned them, but just in case.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about the interruption. We'll get right back to it. Yeah. As the Lancer kind of brushes you, past you, right? Kind of look around. Well, well, listen. Currently, there is a bounty on, he kind of looks across, eyeing down the people who are, being referred to here, and it is Azazel, Virgil, Carlos, and Desiree. There's a word out from Octavia, looking to put you four down for good. It would seem, at least from what I'm hearing, what my informants have notified me of, is that you have received a warning to remove yourself from whatever investigation you seem to be a part of, and you did not heed that warning, and now you are wanted to be put down for good. So, I can only assume that is correct.
Seems like.
Did you receive a warning? Were you told?
Words to that effect, sir.
Yeah.
15 minutes ago, when we just walked back here. Well, yeah, I suppose so.
What about when we were ambushed in the alleyway?
Yeah, last night. That was the
Yeah.
warning.
Yeah. So.
And then we got another warning on the way back here.
No, that was just my mate, just telling me to chill out.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So.
And then we were severely burned.
Yeah. Well, I figured. So, seems my information is correct. Well,
Funny you were so competent in most regards.
Are you telling us to leave off the case, sir?
he kind of thinks it over. No, it would seem that your captain has more sway than even myself, and has brought you in officially. So, it seems you are stuck in this situation of you. Although, while they are searching for you, looking to erase you from this scenario, maybe there's an opportunity there, but it would be dangerous, and well, I think in your case, and he looks to you, Carlos, you kind of owe it. All things considered.
You did murder a woman after all, Carlos.
No, he faked it. He's admitted it.
Mm.
No murder. Thank God,
Don't
no,
know
he
what-
was asleep for that. No, yeah, sorry. Just rewind
I was
that.
say. Did you hear this, Carlos?
Mitigating.
Yeah, he heard it in his coma. Nope, no murder. He set me up. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No,
But,
I think the Lancer's right, Carlos. You do owe it to society.
I think the Lancer's an arsehole. No offense. Sorry, yes, offense.
He just kind of brushes that off. He doesn't really care that you think he's an asshole, right? In any case, I guess there is... So... There's a chance that this could all be taken care of, but it would require you to put your neck on the line.
Well, there's already a bounty in place. I'm already being smacked around by the law.
He kind of turns and looks to you, Ezra. You. I think it is strange that you do not have a bounty on your head. Don't by chance know why that might be the case?
She sort of cocks an eyebrow. I was wondering about that as well.
Interesting. Well, with the bounty on your heads, and as far as my understanding goes, thankfully this location is safe for the time being. Octavia operates out of the poorer area of the city. That is where all the recruitment goes on, right? Finding young vagabonds and turning them to hardened criminals and such. So I think that is where she is currently. At least that's my assumptions. I think she's in an old hideout off that way. Maybe one we missed when we raided and took her down those years ago. So.
Does Ezra know, or can she tell whether Vincente knows of her involvement with the case back then?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a. Well, I would say, based on the way he's spoken to you, it seems like he's unaware, right?
Okay.
Maybe too far removed, right? From how things went, right? Him being the investigator, he probably got information from somebody, kind of middleman, right, between. So it seems like he's not up to information as far as your involvement direct.
All right.
And doesn't seem like he knows the connection with the twins and such. At least how he's speaking, right? It's not giving you any indication. But you think that there is an old hideout location that we may have missed the first time around. Only somebody familiar with her operations, who was close to her at a time, would know. We've got eyes on her jeweler. believe is Valeria Alvarez. We are keeping an eye out, trying to find her as best as we can, and we think she'll be the one to give up the information, where to look, where to find. I know that the two of you, Carlos and Virgil, have made it your... you've been asking questions about me and harassing judges and sort. Obviously that is no longer an issue.
Yeah, you're not concerned that judge that we were harassing the guy that let her go?
Well,
He's the guy that buried in all this. You don't care?
it's your paperwork. So, special loophole that you found. Prisoner trade. Not sure how you figured that, but I guess you are
I'm extremely bright.
a studious type, yeah. He kind of says it, you know, very much sarcastically, right?
Virgil also looked to Carlos for an explanation. What loophole?
The Lancer kind of waits and looks to hear
The
this
one-
explanation.
The one
Don't lie to me, brother.
in
He doesn't even know.
ace pack that I was presented with when I took the job.
The work was done for him then. Well, I would say then, it's probably in your best interest to remain here. Safe house, wherever way you look at it. Lock the doors. You know, keep the business closed for the time being, and keep yourself out of trouble. Let us professionals handle this the way only we can.
So that's the plan.
I was going to set someone else up.
Just bury our heads in the ground, wait for this to blow over, and hope that she forgives and forgets. That's really the plan here.
No, we will get her back into. We'll get her back.
Oh,
You know, yeah, don't worry.
really?
We did it once before.
Yeah, at the cost of how many men was that?
Kind of gives you a look.
Yeah,
You
I hear
are-
things too.
You know, who are you?
Oh, I'm no one important.
Exactly.
Nice.
It kind of looks to you, Virgil, like, you know, getting a bit more serious, right? Seems your brother is a lightning rod for controversy. It would be in your and his best interest to lay low. Let us handle this. We will get her back into custody. All will be well. With the bounty out on your head, I can only assume that any lowlife you have dealings with will surely look to collect.
With all due respect, sir, I'm used to having low lives out to get me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd feel much better if I could return to my duties, sir.
Your idiot captain is not only incompetent in so many ways, but dangerously incompetent with the influence he holds. I do not know how he was able to sell an independent investigation into a situation of this import, but seems that he has a patron high up looking to help him rise the ranks. Return to your duties. In what way? As an iron rod? Just returning.
Yes, sir. I was only ever asked to come on this investigation by the captain to make sure nothing went awry. If you're taking over, then I don't see any need for me.
Unfortunately, you are still wrapped up in this investigation, although as a potential target for them.
If I can speak freely, I don't feel comfortable staying in here while other people are out there going after Centauri. There must be something we can do to help instead of staying in here hiding, sir.
Kind of thinks it over. Well, if you are willing to put your self in danger, we are trying to find the hideout within the poorer section of the city. If you all head that way and start to make noise, then I can only assume that trouble may find you, and if we keep eyes on the situation, maybe it could lead us to... What if you allow yourselves to get captured?
I think we could do that.
If it's for the good of the mission, sir.
You have eyes on you?
I'm so meek and unassuming.
What's that? Sorry, I missed that.
But I'm so meek and unassuming. Why would anybody want to capture me?
There are a payment, I think, at least I was informed, is 5,000 gold per head.
Okay, right.
Wait,
How's
that
this?
expensive?
I will prance through the street going, bah, bah, and the wolves can jump.
Wait, no, I have a better idea. You have the perfect marks for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Desuri walks over and stands next to Azazel. We could be the targets.
I just look at you like, what?
Well, let's be fair. People don't like you. Cause she like gestures to your face and body. Whereas I'm, let's face it, I'm very weak, right? So if we cause a ruckus and they come to find us, that's still 10,000 gold on for the both of us, right? So you guys, pointing to Lancer, Ezra, Carlos, and Virgil, can then stay in the wings, be at the ready, and then once somebody throws up, you grab them, and then we can interrogate.
Yeah, you saw how well that went last time.
Yeah, and we did fine.
Yeah, but the fucker didn't know anything. And then you
Exact-
stole his sword.
You didn't have to say anything about stealing a sword, but
What
You
if,
know-
instead of interrogating them, we let them take you? And we
That's true.
follow them.
that is possible. We just have to make sure that we stay alive and they don't just kill us.
Yeah, because the bounty's for the head. I don't know if it's dead or alive.
Is the bounty dead or alive, sir?
As far as my understanding, it is alive currently.
Oh, well then, even better.
You do this, D. Why do you do this?
Come on, it would be so good though. We can play this up. Act this out. It's so much fun with this.
I'm not
Is
gonna
it an
change your
even
mind, am I?
bounty? Is it an even bounty on us all?
Appears to be the case. 5,000 gold for each.
You offended that you're not worth more, brother?
No, I was gonna think. Was kind of thinking I'd be the bigger draw. That's the better target.
Mm.
Yeah, but you don't stand out like a giant red light.
Hello, have you seen how well I'm dressed?
Aren't you wearing rags right now?
You're
No.
not dressed
No,
and
yeah,
you're
he's-
covered
no,
in
he's-
piss.
I was just going to say, Virgil looks down at the piss stain.
He's put his blue suit back on, so it's even
Oh,
darker.
great.
By the way, you're gonna need to definitely clean that out of the wood. Anyway, no, the whole thing is, you have two very, very, prominent people here, pointing to herself and Zazel, that can be kind of like the mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would make way more sense for you guys to, because let's face it, you guys probably have crazier things than I can do. Azazel is really good at getting out of binds. So we get captured, you guys follow, and then we bust out, you guys bust in, then we cause problems, right?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Can't see a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I see several,
Yeah.
but I'm
yeah.
clearly getting outvoted.
I've probably got head trauma, so nothing's making sense to me. What the hell?
Unless I need to be the only one that gets captured. I can be the only one that gets captured. I don't mind that.
No. I'll do it. God.
Come on, it'll be an adventure. We haven't gotten an adventure though.
Are you bored or something?
Yes!
Oh my god. You are such a dumbass.
If we're all in agreement then, sir, are you happy to support this plan?
It's a start, not the preferred method of tracking down, but I think it can work.
Sure, he just gives thumbs up.
Does anybody know that you are all here?
Say it again?
Does anybody know that you are all here? Does anybody you have connection with know that this is where you are hiding?
I mean, my connection knows.
Do you say that out loud? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you were saying that. Oh, say, no, I don't say that.
Okay.
Fuck no.
He kind of asks around, kind of looks around. Good then. So, then you are safe at least for some time. I will have to look to gather some others to help assist with this, right? The tracking. If you are to be taken, then we will need a number of eyes to ensure that we do not lose you in the back alleys of the poorer section of the city. So if you could, just for a few hours, wait here. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Carlos. So, as you were saying, take some time here, right? Rest. Ensure that you are all up to good health, and when I return, we will begin. Is this fair?
Very good, sir.
Roger.
Well then, I'll take my leave and just close this place down. You'll be okay, right? And I'll be back in just a bit of time. I need to just gather, as I said. So he'll kind of reach over and already kind of start to put his his cloak back on, right? Removing it from the coat stand and draping it back over his shoulders. With any luck, the rains will stop and shortly, and the iron rods will be able to do what they do best.
Let's hope so.
You might want to wash that.
He points down to your pants. You might want to wash them. In return.
Nah, I like it like this.
Jesus Christ.
Virgil slaps him around the back of the head.
Sorry's just cursing at
Carlos goes
Ekros.
down.
Yeah. You're weak to it now, right? Any one touch and you're done. So, alright, well with that then, the Lancer, Vicente, will just kind of give you a quick nod, and then with a quick look out the front door to ensure the coast is clear, we'll exit and close the door behind and disappear off into the city.
What a cunt.
Ezra sort of looks expectantly around the group. So, what was this all about?
Well, I was just going to ask how your investigation went, Ezra. You seem to take a while.
I did.
Did you turn up anything useful?
Not really. It seems she's covering up her tracks pretty neatly so far. However, I did have a thought.
Please.
One way to perhaps get some information on what she's planning would be to ask around in the prison she was being held in. Talk to some inmates, get information on who maybe would have visited her. You must have been planning this for quite some time now.
From what I understand, this was something that was planned outside, no? Carlos, who was it that gave you that docket that got her out?
It was the husband, Luca.
Her brother is not enough of a head, a good head on his shoulders to hatch out this plan by himself. This was planned by Octavia, longhand. I guarantee it. Everyone's just puppets in their hands.
Well, why don't we wait for... Oh, I can't remember his name, the Lancer. Why don't we wait for him to come back?
Can we trust him?
I trust him.
I don't.
Yeah, same.
Very
See.
fishy.
Beat you into a pulp.
Yeah, and you let him.
Don't trust you now.
Do I have to beat you to earn your trust back, or...?
Well, I could just. Well, I'm empty at the moment, but I'll tell you what. We'll try that, and I'll urinate all over you later.
What?
Brother, I've seen you the first time in 15 years, and you've pissed yourself twice.
In 2 days.
Yeah, maybe you should see a doctor. You should be peeing more.
No, it's a go-to move.
It's the go-to
Clean
move.
that
Nobody
up,
wants-
by the way.
Nobody wants to grab a man that's covered in piss.
I'll grab him, and I'll hand him the broom. I'll hand him the mop. Go and clean that up, brother.
Fine.
Brother.
Where my
Carlos will get to mopping up these stained floorboards.
While he does, Ezra,
Makes a change you tidying up your own mess, I suppose.
while Carlos is mopping, Ezra turns to the others and asks, "So, did you get any new information so far?"
Not yet. I'm hoping something will come through.
All right. And what is it about this date business? Are you really going to do that? That seems mighty dangerous for something that could go tits up really badly.
Yeah, I know, right? It's almost like a bad idea as I turn to D.
Desiree is just smiling like, well, I mean, it could help.
I have to say, my estimations of you have definitely gone up, offering your services like that to the city of Valdiran. So it's a real civic duty you're doing.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm hoping to get very compensated for this. Because the moment this is all done, I better be getting paid.
I lean in. I think our payment is the charges being dropped. Remember?
Yeah, but also we gotta get money out of this, right?
You're gonna try and squeeze the police.
I would love to get some money so I can actually expand on my shop a little bit.
I did need to take a look at that license that you had for this shop, didn't I? By the way.
Oh, what?
Whilst we're here, make sure everything's in order.
Yeah, she goes and gets the paper.
Did Ezra hear the thing about the murder being actually like framed?
No.
Carlos?
Oh no, you
weren't here.
I wasn't there yet. Okay.
Yeah, you walked in after that. 'Cause that's just when he got knocked out.
Desiree comes back.
Alice doesn't know that either.
Is there
So-
anything more that we can go on the like the things you were put into the Iron Rod's care for?
Oh, well,
Like
The murder was fake.
there were two. Which one?
Jeez.
And I'll give him like a shut the fuck up shake.
I don't know. I was talking about a book that I read.
Insight check.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I want to lie to each other to keep up the ruse that Carlos is unaware. We can do perception against deception, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole thing is very obvious that Desiree is lying.
Yeah.
Without a roll.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not saying shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like Ezra sort of cocks her head and squints and like, what? You know what? Let's just drop it, I guess. I thought maybe we could also gain a lead by looking into the murder you two were framed for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you ever told me exactly what happened, did you?
I think we got a chance being ambushed.
No, we didn't.
I mean, you saw the alleyway on the way in. You know, the skinny one.
It's fine.
Oh no! I know! Holding the
Carry-
clip!
We're
Carry on without the
we are
DM.
peeing among ourselves, so we don't need TrillTheDM now.
What? I can
Sure.
hear you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, you know the skinny one around the back? Yeah. We went out into the rains. People losing the shit. Still very strange. And this guy who was in here before, what, did he steal something?
Yeah, he stole a box.
He stole a box but left something in return. And then, next thing I know, he's slumped up against the wall with a dagger in his chest or his side. I can't remember the fine details.
He's been
There's
stabbed.
been a lot in this last 2 days.
He's been stabbed to death.
Yeah, and
What
as I'm
was
trying
the
to... Huh?
What was the thing you stole exactly?
It was just this box, and she goes over and like picks up the box that she put back where it had been, and like presents it. I mean, it's not really anything like super, like occult or anything. I mean, I think it held maybe some tomes, but other than that, I mean, it wasn't really anything major.
Oh,
can
Steve,
I take a look at it and like assess whether there's anything occult going on with it?
Yeah, you can definitely try.
Oh, see, question, is that something I would have brought to Surrey?
Would this have been an item that you brought? I would say not.
Okay, just making sure. Then I have no idea what the fuck it is then.
Yeah, or nah, probably not.
Fair.
So, with the 27, as you take a look at this item, Desiree, you've had a few good looks at this, but unable to truly kind of tell exactly what it is, right?
Right.
And this is the cylinder, right? That you've kind of almost like a what the fuck are those things called?
Thermos?
No, like it moves around like the
Puzzle box.
square puzzles.
Rubik's
Oh,
Cube.
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's
Oh.
Cube, thank you. And so you've moved it around a couple of times, or rather, I think like once, and then you reached the point where it kind of locked, but you could feel like there was more to it going on. Like as you shook it, there was a small sound of like something inside, kind of stopping it from continuing to open further. Yeah. And so as you kind of pass it over to Ezra to take a look at, right? Ezra, you know, in almost no time, kind of messing around with this, you seem to unlock the secondary lock, and as it opens up a bit more, you turn it and it clicks in, and it clicks in a way, that is very surprising to you, because as it turns, it actually tightens in, right? Like the cylinder kind of compresses further, like it's been drawn together. And as it does so and reaches kind of this point, there's an energy that kind of emanates from the cylinder itself, like a, like this, like a force field almost effect that kind of like comes off of it and kind of spreads through the room, and all 5 of you feel it, like a pulse of bass right against your skin as it kind of passes over you, and like leaves this like low whir sound, right? Ooh, it kind of goes off, and I want to say with the 27, you know that there's more to it, but it requires just a bit more time. But you're getting close, very close to knowing exactly what this is. I will say, as far as like information goes, looking at this, this is not something you've ever seen before. There are aspects to this item that are very unnatural, right?
Sorry, Troy.
It seems old and seems the feeling as you look at it, it seems like it's got a blend of like multiple cultures, like stylization as far as like putting something like this together. It seems like a blend, which is a very unnatural blend. Go ahead, Virgil.
I was just going to say, this was all done in front of us, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
been hidden or anything.
Yeah, not hidden. Yeah.
From my, fairly half decent knowledge of Valdiran law, is this a legal thing that she's got? And that she's fucking around with?
So the effect that it just had surely feels magical, and to sell magical items in Valdiris, you have to be somebody of big import, right? You don't find magical items just in any shop anywhere, right?
Nope.
The closest thing you would ever find, and even then is pretty well regulated, is like healing potions, right? But anything beyond that, like even in the slightest, genuine magical items are completely controlled by the Gilded Hand, right? Not just any person can buy them. They're not just passed out. They're not just on display at any quote unquote magical shop.
Yep.
So this item having this magical effect is very like you're taken aback by the sudden, like magical effect it has.
My hand goes to the rod at my waist. I need to see your documentation now.
I already showed it. It's right over there on the table. She put all her licenses and permits and everything on the table for him.
I'm going to start reading through the documents.
Okay, you're gonna start? Okay, perfect.
Meanwhile, Ezra turns to Desiree and is like, so this thing that just happened is new to you, I figure.
I had no clue that I ever did that.
I think if you give me some time, I might figure out what this thing is about.
Let me help you with that, actually. I'm very curious.
Yeah, let's make it a shared effort.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of lean in, looking to do what you can about continuing and finalizing this item. Desiree, I'm gonna say, within a few moments of looking through the paperwork, like I'll say you don't even have to look, but you're just doing it because you're actually intuitively you know that there's no way Desiree has any of the paperwork required to have something like this for sale or in possession at all, right? But you are stuck to the law, so you are going to at least look at the paperwork to ensure before anything else happens. So you're kind of leaned over, taking a look at this paperwork. Desiree and Ezra are taking a look at the item directly. Carlos and Azazel. What are the two of you doing while this is happening?
I was kind of watching them play around with the puzzle box for a moment. Okay. Unless they were just going to wander off in the back and be like, okay, we're going to go look at this.
The assumption is that it's all happening right there. Yeah.
Right. In the meanwhile, I will be checking over my shoulder every so often, just listening into the back door or the front door because I'm expecting someone.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're expecting someone. Roll me a perception check.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! We're gonna use that later.
Very good. And then
I need to stop.
And Carlos.
Is Carlos doing perception as well?
Well, what are you doing exactly? And then
Carlos has just been carrying on. We're still in the shop, aren't we? He's just
still in the shop.
He's still mopping the floor. He's probably a bit rattled. He did get pounded pretty hard.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Second time in 2 days, way.
Maybe he needs to sleep it off. I don't know, but he's just waiting for a good plan to come along, and then we'll chime in.
Presto.
Well, I'll say that Azazel is focused on the back. Maybe as you're kind of mopping up in the front, we'll just roll a perception check to see if you happen to notice anything.
Well, he's right in the doorway.
I don't
exactly. know if there's a window in the door.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was nearly a net 20.
Okay. So with a 22 and an 18. All right. So Ezra, Desiree, the two of you are focused in on this newly revealed magical item, trying to figure out its exact purpose, what it does, everything else. Virgil, your head's down, you're stuck in on this paperwork, right? Just going through each paper, and with it being Valdiris, there's a lot of paperwork even for the most simple of things, so you've got a decent stack in front of you to rifle through. Azazel.
Yeah, that's me.
Paranoid, worried about what may be happening in the back of house, right? The back of the shop. We'll say you're positioned closer to that, the doorway that leads to the back, right? You hear a few things. You hear some movement, even though the rain is coming down. You can hear sounds just outside the door, like people going by, maybe some activity, speaking to each other, something. You can pick up some just very light sounds. You can't see anybody. There's no window in the back, but you can hear that there are people behind the shop. But people pass by here all the time, right? You know, so it's not a new thing for you. So how paranoid you feel about that, I'll leave to you. But you definitely hear some activity. Do you go to check it out? You just, what's going on?
I probably would move a little bit closer, not like ear to the door, but just a little bit closer to see if I can identify. Is it just, you know, washerwomen talking, gossiping, or is it actually danger? Like, is it whispers? Can I make out anything? Use my roll from before if you want. I don't mind.
We'll go ahead and use the roll. So you get closer, right?
Yeah. I think I'm paranoid, but I'm trying to keep my shit together.
Yeah. There's a lot of, you know, anxious energy. I'm gonna say with an 18, it sounds like the voice beyond that door sounds kind of familiar. And before you have a chance to react, you recognize that the voice is Renzo.
Then I breathe a little bit easier.
So, Carlos, up front, with a 22. There are windows up front. You can see out into the streets of Valdiris. See the rain. You know, there is still light emanating from inside the shop, kind of, you know, lighting up just a decent portion outside the front. But also there are, despite the rains, still some street lamps that kind of lead, give a good bit of light out into the darkness beyond. With a 22, you look up out the window as you are mopping, right, back and forth, and you see a figure standing in the darkness, facing the shop. I'm gonna say with a 22, because it's such a good roll, you recognize that outline.
Okay.
Takes you a moment. I'm gonna say you have a chance to audibly express an emotion here as you recognize the outline to be the spellcaster from the alley the previous night. And they're standing and they're looking at the shop, and it looks like there are a couple of other obscured figures out there with them.
Ah, shit, folks. I think I'm in line for another ass kicking.
So, you get that out, right? Ah, shit, right? And then the figures on the outside, just as you say, like, ah, shit, right? A window of the shop bursts open as a brick is thrown right through into the shop. Glass explodes into the interior with a loud clang. The brick goes kind of skirting across the wooden floors. Azazel in the back, hear the voice of Renzo. And just as you can make out what he's saying, you hear him say, no, I know they're in there. They're in there. And just as you recognize that your friend or associate Renzo sold you out, the back door of the shop splinters open and a large figure rushes into the shop. And so, as you've been sold out, there are a number of people on approach. I think it's best to pause here and pick up next time, rolling right into initiative.
No!
So.
Kill him! Ah, this is gonna be good. Son of a bitch!
Yeah. So.
We definitely should have mentioned.
If you'd mentioned Renzo, that would have been
Listen, I
We
thought I
would've-
could
we
trust
should've-
my. I thought I could trust my contact. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, you did because you rolled a perception, and I think you
Yeah.
critically failed it. So.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. So I think that's. I think
That
you-
might be why then.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
so
fair.
Never
Oh,
suspecting
boy.
this.
I
So,
can't remember. That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting compensated for this.
Yes. So,
Getting compensated.
thank you all for playing. I hope you enjoyed. I look forward to next week. I'm gonna go ahead and sign on the stream, so just give me a few moments and I'll be back. But
Hey.
yeah, thank you all for playing. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. This is session 6 of our Monday campaign, Valdiran Nights. Things are ramping up here. The next session and the session following that are likely to be the final. So, you know, so yeah, we are going to ramp up very quickly into the finale here. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to get involved, either as an opportunity to play in the game or just in general, you know, involve yourself in the community. We've got a lot of fun community stuff that we do. The best place to be is in the Discord. So, you know, feel free to join. We'll be back tomorrow with a light kind of hangout community world building stream where we just kind of, you know, chat things over, you know, just kind of have a decent time. But in any case, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day or a good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And yes, please do not join Discord and randomly PM people trying to convince them to commission you for art. Strangely enough, this happens right in the middle of this game. I was notified by a friend, and yeah, what the fuck? And I'm pretty sure it's the exact same person that was already banned. So this is a fucking this is a stupid ass alt account trying to do this shit. So please don't do that. Yeah. It's what happened again. I swear to God, it's literally exactly what happened again. I'm not joking. That is what happened. But yeah, thank you all. Hope you have a good day, good evening, depending on where you are, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow with the hangout stream. If not, our next campaign stream will be this Wednesday for the continuation of our Wednesday campaign, Into the Red, as we are also ramping up for the finale with that one. So hope you have a good one. Maybe we'll see you when we see you. Peace out.